Every dealer lot in this country has a corner nobody walks into. That's where the wagons sit. While everybody else financed a tall crossover so they could sit up high and feel important, the entire used car market just went cold, wagons included, and it's colder than it's been in over 2 years. The average used car took 53 days to sell this past February, up from 37.7 days the year before, according to IC Cars. That's the whole market moving slow. Wagons sit even longer than that average, month after month, while the lot fills up with taller, thirstier stuff nobody can afford to fill the tank on anymore. So why would anybody buy a car that's been sitting there that long, sometimes longer than the dealership's own mortgage payment? Because rotting on a lot doesn't mean broken, it means ignored. And ignored is exactly where the deals hide. Today, I'm walking you through 10 real wagons nobody wants right now, the exact engine to buy on each one, the one to run from, and the real prices you should actually be paying. And I'll flag the ones that only look cheap because they're genuinely troublesome, so you're not the guy who finds out the hard way. Stick around, because the wagon sitting at number 1 is the entire reason this segment of the used market exists in the first place. But this story doesn't start with slow sales. It starts with a rule most car shoppers have never heard of. Corporate fuel economy standards treat a crossover as a light truck with an easier fuel target to hit, and treat a wagon as a passenger car held to a stricter one. Automakers chased the easier math, dealers made fatter margins pushing tall SUVs, and the wagon got left behind in the process, not because it stopped working. Volvo just proved the point. They are ending production of their last American wagon, the V60 Cross Country, this April, after selling barely over 3,000 of them all last year. Low volume is not the same thing as unsafe. It's just unloved. Here's 10 of them. Worst days on lot first. Cheapest and least fashionable leading the way. Number 10, the Saab 9.5 SportCombi, built from 2006 through 2009. This is an orphan wagon from a brand that folded back in 2011, which means everyone still sitting on the lot has probably been parked there since before your last car payment even started. Autolist shows examples sitting anywhere from 65 to 164 days on market, and prices land anywhere from $3,500 up to around $12,000 for a clean one. Under the hood is a 2.3-liter Turbo 4 front-wheel drive, and it's tougher than the brand's reputation suggests. Owners who keep up on the ignition cassette and the PCV system report crossing 200,000 miles with no real drama. The catch is parts. Anything Saab specific gets harder to find every year, though a lot of the mechanical guts underneath are shared with GM, so it's not nearly as bad as people assume walking in. Put plainly, that's beater money for a car that's stickered well north of $30,000 new. Manual transmission cars are especially rare and worth seeking out if you can find one. What you're actually buying is a quirky, genuinely safe turbo wagon that drives better than its price tag has any right to suggest. Number 9, the Jaguar XF Sportbrake, sold in the US only from 2018 through 2020. This is the rarest car on this entire list, full stop. Jaguar sold fewer than 250 of these in the US across 3 full years combined, split between a 2-liter Turbo 4 and a 3-liter supercharged V6. All-wheel drive is standard, air suspension is standard, and depreciation has been brutal in the buyer's favor. 4-cylinder cars average around $23,800, V6 cars closer to $32,000, against an original sticker between $66,000 and $73,000. This is genuinely one of the best driving wagons ever sold in this country. If you stop shopping right here, you'd already own the nicest driving car on this whole list. But stick around, because the smartest buy here is still 4 spots away, and it costs a fraction of what this one does. One honest note before we move on, reliability reviews on this generation are mixed. There have been recalls covering fuel line chafing and airbag software, so confirm all recall work is done before you hand over a check. And we'll come back to that near the end of the video. But this isn't just a Jaguar problem, it's an almost every modern luxury wagon problem, and the OWD proves it just as well. Number 8, the Audi A4 Allroad, the B8 generation from 2013 through 2016, and the B9 generation from 2017 on. Both use a 2-liter Turbo 4 paired with Quattro all-wheel drive standard, which means real grip in snow, not just the look of it on a showroom floor. The B8 makes 211 horsepower, and the newer B9 bumps that to 252. B8 cars with over 100,000 miles start around $10,000 and climb into the high 20,000s for cleaner, lower mileage examples. Here's the detail most crossover shoppers never bother to check. The related Audi A6, a car people cross-shop against SUVs constantly, loses roughly 61% of its value over 5 years, and the all-road wagon holds up noticeably better than that math suggests. It's the only compact luxury wagon sitting on US lots in real numbers right now. And Quattro grip, plus a genuinely nice cabin for the money, makes it one of the easiest recommendations on this whole list, as long as you budget for German maintenance costs down the road. Number 7, the Mercedes-Benz E-Class wagon, the 2010 through 2016 generation. Skip the E63 AMG version. That one is a collector car climbing in value, not a lot rot bargain. We will come back to that a little later. There's also an older generation from 2004 through 2009, and if you find one, the early E320 with the M112 V6 is nearly bulletproof. On this newer generation, what you want is the E350 with the M276 V6, the more dependable engine choice. 4MATIC all-wheel drive is common, and these wagons sell for around $20,000 against an original sticker well over $60,000. That's a real three-pointed star wagon, not a badge-engineered stand-in, and documented examples routinely cross 250,000 miles without complaint. Buyers avoid these because they are scared of German repair bills, and that fear is exactly why they are still sitting on lots months later. Buy the right engine, keep up on the air suspension and the rear subframe, which Mercedes actually covers under an extended corrosion warranty, and you are driving real luxury for economy car money. Number 6. The Volkswagen Golf Sport Wagon and its earlier twin, the Jetta SportWagen, were built from 2009 through 2019. You get a choice of the 2.5-liter 5-cylinder gas engine, which is genuinely reliable, or the 2-liter TDI diesel, which is the efficiency champion of this entire list. Front-wheel drive only. Prices range from around $4,000 up to $14,000 for the cleanest examples out there. One owner documented online bought a TDI with 355,000 miles on the odometer for $3,500 and just kept driving it daily. The diesel stigma left over from the emission scandal actually works in your favor here because it tanked resale values on cars that were mechanically sound the whole time. Many post-scandal diesels also carry a transferable extended warranty on emissions components, so ask the seller about it before you write anything off. Just budget for diesel-specific parts down the line regardless, since the fuel system and emissions hardware aren't cheap once they finally need attention. 66 cubic feet of cargo room, German driving manners, and honestly, this little wagon runs on the exact same logic as the car sitting at number 1 on this list. Same idea, smaller badge. Number 5, and this is the biggest value play on the entire list. The Cadillac CTS Sport Wagon, built from 2010 through 2014. Skip the CTS-V version. That one's appreciating, not depreciating. We'll flag that again before we're done here. Out of roughly 254,000 second-generation CTS models built in total, only about 7,000 were wagons. That's extreme rarity for an American car by any measure. The 3.6-liter V6 makes 318 horsepower, rear-wheel drive standard with all-wheel drive available, and clean examples trade for $8,000 to $13,000 against an original sticker that touched $53,000 when new. That's the kind of number that makes accountants cry. This is the boldest looking wagon on any used lot in America, full stop, paired with a 6-speed automatic and GM parts support that keeps ownership costs sane long term. Watch for cracked rear hub magnetic rings, which throw ABS and stability control faults, and keep an eye on the roof rack finish, which flakes with age on higher mileage cars. Neither issue is expensive to fix. The cabin still feels genuinely upscale today, real stitched leather and a proper analog gauge cluster, nothing that feels like it aged out overnight. For the styling, the rarity, and the depreciation gap alone, this is the pick I put my own money on today. If you're finding this useful, hit subscribe. I put out a buyer protection breakdown like this every week. All right, so here's where things get genuinely messy for the dealers still sitting on this next batch of inventory. Number 4, the Buick Regal TourX, sold from 2018 through 2020. Only one engine here, a 2-liter turbo 4, making 250 horsepower, paired with an 8-speed automatic and standard all-wheel drive. This is a rebadged Opel Insignia wagon, German engineered underneath an American badge, and total Regal sales across every body style were just 14,118 units in 2018. That was only round 1. Buick discontinued the entire Regal line shortly after, which means these were already rare the day they left the factory floor. Prices start around $12,000 and average closer to $18,000 for a well-kept example. This is the last mainstream American wagon you can buy, period, with standard all-wheel drive and a genuinely quiet, well-isolated cabin. Some leftover 2018 models were still selling with full factory warranty attached years after launch. The cargo hold swallows a genuinely useful amount of gear behind the second row, more than most compact SUVs sitting on the same lot. If you want a modern American wagon with real winter capability, this is your last real option from a domestic brand. Number 3, the Dodge Magnum, built 2005 through 2008. Skip the SRT8 version, another appreciating collector car. We're covering the SE, SXT, R, and T trims here instead. Get the 3.5-liter V6 if you want something sensible, or the 5.7-liter Hemi V8 if you want a genuine muscle wagon wearing a station wagon body. Rear-wheel drive standard, all-wheel drive available, and this LX platform shares chassis hardware that traces back to Mercedes engineering from the same era. Sales collapsed from over 52,000 units in 2005 to under 7,000 by 2008, and Chrysler killed it outright, saying cars like it just weren't earning their keep anymore. Prices now run anywhere from $3,500 to $13,000, depending on engine and condition. The Hemi even shuts down 4 cylinders under light cruising to help fuel economy, so it's not as thirsty as the exhaust note suggests. Hemi cars with documented maintenance routinely cross 250,000 miles without issue. One recall to check before you buy anything here: the Takata airbag replacement. Confirm it's actually been done. And that platform lineage pointing back toward German engineering, that's not a coincidence, and it points straight at the brand sitting at number 1 on this list. But this wasn't just about one brand borrowing good bones anymore. The next wagon on this list is where that whole engineering pedigree actually started. Number 2, the Volvo XC70 third generation, built 2008 through 2016. Get the naturally aspirated 3.2-liter inline-six with all-wheel drive if you can find one. It's the most durable engine offered across this whole lineup. A turbocharged T6 and later 2.5-liter versions exist too. Just check oil consumption history carefully before buying either one. Prices run from around $3,700 for early examples up to $19,000 for the cleanest late ones, with the average listing sitting around $11,000. This is a raised-clad Volvo wagon with over 7 inches of ground clearance, built for real snow, not the illusion of it, and owners routinely report 200,000 to 265,000 miles on stock drivetrains. One recall to check, a seatbelt anchor cable issue covering 2008 through 2016 models confirmed the remedy was actually completed. And this is the part where things stop being funny for anyone still overpaying for a brand new SUV, because the wagon that started this whole argument, the one that made people start saying crossovers are just lifted wagons in the first place, is next. Before I get to number one honest note. Buyer protection matters more than a low price tag ever will. Low sales volume protects your wallet on the sticker price. It does not replace a real pre-purchase inspection or a documented service history, especially on the Jaguar and the older Mercedes and Audi wagons from earlier in this list. Pay the $150 for a mechanic to look underneath before you hand over cash. It's cheap insurance against a bad decision. And a few related wagons deserve a separate mention here because you'll see them in the comments no matter what I say. The Volvo 240, the Buick Roadmaster with the LT1 V8, the Dodge Magnum SRT8, the Mercedes E63 AMG wagon, the Audi RS4 and RS6 Avant, the BMW E39 M5 Touring, the Cadillac CTS Sport Wagon, and the 1990s Honda Accord wagon. Those aren't rotting on lots. Those are appreciating collector-grade wagons climbing in value every single year, and calling any of them worthless would be flat out wrong. This list is about the cars the market forgot, not the cars the market already figured out. Number 1, the Volvo V70. Second generation, built 2001 through 2007. This is the wagon that started the whole argument. The one every wagon loyal commenter references when they say crossovers are just lifted wagons wearing a taller, uglier body. Get the naturally aspirated 2.4-liter inline-5 if you want the simplest, most bulletproof option available. Front-wheel drive on standard cars, all-wheel drive on the cross-country trims. The turbocharged T5 is fine too, as long as you're buying one with real, documented maintenance records behind it. Prices run from around $2,400 up to $7,000 for excellent examples, which means this is the least fashionable used car in America and also one of the toughest. Owners routinely report 235,000 to 268,000 miles, some well past that mark. Watch the ABS control module and the strut mounts as these get older, and expect some brittle interior plastic on high-mileage cars, nothing that ends a Volvo's working life early. Some trims even came with a rear-facing third-row jump seat built into the cargo floor, a party trick almost no SUV on the lot can match. Legendary seat comfort, a genuinely enormous cargo hold, and real Volvo safety engineering. For less money than most people put down on a set of tires for their brand new SUV, walk back into that corner of the lot where nobody's looking, the one from the start of this video. It's not full of broken cars. It's full of cars the market simply stopped paying attention to, which is a very different thing entirely. 10 wagons, real prices, real engines to buy, real ones to avoid, and every single one of them sitting there because buyers chased a taller shape instead of a smarter one. The wagon at number 1 didn't get cheap because it got worse. It got cheap because everybody else got distracted by something taller and thirstier. That's the whole story of this corner of the used market, and honestly, it's the whole reason this channel exists in the first place. The herd financed the SUV. The smart buyer walked past it into that ignored corner of the lot and drove home in something that hauls more, handles better, and will probably outlast whatever that SUV owner is still making payments on 5 years from now. Same lot, same day, 2 completely different outcomes. If this saved you from overpaying for the wrong SUV or pointed you toward the right wagon instead, subscribe. I put out a new buyer protection breakdown like this every week. And if you want the full rundown on the last good model year across an entire brand, not just one scattered list, that video's linked right here. Go watch that one next.